Hey everybody, welcome back to Selena Thinking Out Loud. Before we hit this 100-degree heat and I have to cover everything again, I wanted to share with you guys my first year garden. First time ever gardening ever. Watched a lot of YouTubers, read a lot of articles to figure out how to do this. So I'm gonna show you what my progress has been. As you can see, I've cleared out everything. I'm gonna add mulch all around here. That's the next step. But first I want to show you how everything is growing. Here is my grapevines. I have Niagara and Hemrod in here. My Hemrod has just taken off and it is just doing its thing in this raised bed here. And I have this in a whiskey barrel. You saw that video. I'll attach it if you want to see how I planted these. But these are doing so well. Looking forward to grapes in the future. Here I had to cover up my blueberries because we've had a huge heat wave, so they get burned really easily. So this has been doing some great things for them. But as you can see, there is a blueberry in there on the plant. Oh, you see it right there. Yeah, right there. So they're coming in. This year I decided to add flowers to my garden bed, not just vegetables. And this one is a beautiful plant. As you can see, it's doing very well under this covering. And this is called a bright eye, or salvia, bright eyes. It's doing very well. It's already starting to extend some love throughout my raised bed here. And that's a nice little cactus plant we've had. It started from small baby. Now look at it, it's thriving. That is nasturtiums. I thought I would try to put some nasturtiums in here. Nasturtiums like a really cool weather, but under here they're just starting to thrive. I dropped some seeds in here, so that's what you're looking at. And looks like a bee's on my lavender plant back there, doing its work early in the morning here. This lavender is amazing. You see I put my drip irrigation in. That's been working wonders. It's actually working really well. So I'm very excited for my drip irrigation here as well. This is my warm weather crop. So this stuff is growing like, oh my gosh, it's thriving. I'm so in shock that I started all of this stuff from seed and it's just thriving. I mean, I purchased the lavender as you saw in the other bed. I wanted to put some more of that. I heard that it repels a lot of different bugs. It seems to be working very well. I haven't had too much of any problems. Right here you can see this is an asparagus. I got this from a company that sells transplants. And so I'll attach in the description what the company was. I can't remember offhand right now. But they come with these little tabs. I love these little tabs. It's going to tell you what it looks like. This is a first year asparagus plant. So they said, let it go ahead and flower like it's doing and get more and more, flowers and grow and mature. And then next year, you can go ahead and actually pull some of the asparagus. So look at this. Isn't it amazing? It's going to be a purple passion asparagus. Looks so good. And I like to put the tags in so I can remember what everything is. As you can see, my drip irrigation is going around that. Here's another sunflower. I started these from seed. I'm going to show you what they look like once you start them from seed in your house and you let them get a little tall like this. I just put these out about 2 days ago. And they just grow amazingly well. I heard you don't need to have any special soil for them. They just thrive, and that's true. So let's move you around here to this side. We're back under the cool weather covering here, and this is the other kale plant that I purchased the same time, the transplant, and look how big it grew. It was just 1 or 2 leaves on the transplant when I got it, and it is just thriving. I have to take some of this kale off. As you can see, again, I love lavender. All right, now we're on to the cucumber plants. I also got these from transplant, so it's 3 small plants in 1 little black cup. So they recommended do not separate them not to disturb the roots. So I went ahead and put them in this raised bed here. As you can see, I'm using the square foot method. See my lines? So I put 1 plant in each square. As you can see, this one has went over its square and in 2 or 3 squares. But the good news I want to show you guys, which makes me so happy, is I'm about to harvest some cucumbers. I cannot believe it. I thought that I was gonna have to hand pollinate them or wait for the bees to come around, but my golly, let me show you this, guys. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? I cannot believe it. I'm in shock. I'm growing my own cucumbers. I can't believe it. And it is it's thriving. Look at all those little ones back there, right? I'm just in shock about how it's growing. I'm gonna be pulling this so I can make a cucumber salad tonight. Oh, there's my pollinator right there, that bee. Then let's lift this one up here. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's almost time to pull that one too. I heard pull them before they turn yellow. Younger is best, so you can get the nice juicy sweetness of them. I mean, look at all these cucumbers. This thing is thriving. I'm so surprised that they're doing so well during this heat wave. I'm in shock. So I know they're warm weather crop, but gosh, guys, I'm surprised. Okay, and look at this one. Another cucumber plant. A cucumber that's doing well. So I'm gonna be harvesting some cucumbers soon, like today, so that I can feed them to my guinea pigs, and also we can have some too. And they are just thriving, just thriving. All right, I'm gonna zoom in here so you guys can see the peppers growing on here. Look at that. After 6 pepper plants, I have 1 thriving. There's some more peppers back here. Right there, you see it? And then I have 1 in the middle there as well, up in there. But look at that. Doesn't need any trellis. Hopefully I'll get something off of this one as well. I say hang in there if you're a first-time gardener like myself, first year. You will get growth, you will see success. The bugs were my worst issue. It is now September, 3 days after the first day of fall, and as you can see, the spaghetti squash plant is just thriving. So I soon discovered that spaghetti squash is a cool weather crop, so it does very well during this time. We're down to the 80s, and so it still can get warm at times, but it's getting cooler at night. As you can see, it's just fruiting. And I have another one here, here, and here. So the bees have been around pollinating the squash very well. In the house, I did start some pumpkin seeds. And so this flower was open this morning. It just closes when the sun heats up. And here's another pumpkin. And that's okra over there. I just started from seed as well in the house. Here's mums I just put in. Got this from the garden center to add some color. And my lavender is growing so well in this climate, in the raised beds. But what I can say is I'm ecstatic to see my tomato plant. This is an Amelia, and I got it as a transplant. It was so small, it was dwindling, but I kept at it, taking care of it in the house until we got out of that 100-degree weather. And so it's been out here for about a month and a half now, and it has gotten humongous because it's loving this 80-degree weather. And as you can see, I have a lot of tomatoes everywhere. So I'm looking forward to harvesting a lot of tomatoes. I love tomatoes for sauces and salsa and all that goodness as well. I have had to deal with some caterpillars. I took one off this morning, so I never know when I'm going to run into one of those buggers, but I'm loving seeing all this beautiful tomatoes coming up. I will show you one that was a victim of something eating in it, but I heard you can get little pouches to put your fruit in to protect it. So I'm going to be doing that very soon. And we're pet sitting right now, so here's one of the senior dogs as well. So next we have pepper still growing. This is another transplant I got. This was on deaf's ear as well, but I took care of it, inside during the 100-degree heat, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out. And it has been thriving. It's huge, as you can see. A lot of peppers to harvest. They're just popping on to here. This is the California Wonder Pepper, doing very, very well. More peppers over there, as well, as you can see. More lavender, mums here. And since I have been following the Farmer's Almanac, and they told me in my area that I can start my peas. So I actually started my peas on September the 18th, and they are now growing. As you can see, starting to come up. I have about 3 varieties of peas. This one is the snowbird pea. It's loving this weather right now. And here is some lettuce growing. Now here's a quick story about this. I started this back in the early spring, probably like February. January, February, and it never grew. Nothing grew. And then I come out here now, and after having this shade cloth under here protecting everything from the sun, and what do you know, I have lettuce growing. So it's a good time to start growing the lettuce, and nothing's bothering it right now, so I'm very happy about that. Hopefully it can get nice and its size it needs to get to, so I can harvest it, and my guinea pigs will just love it. I'll love it too, but I'll give it to my guinea pigs if it's a little head of lettuce. And as I showed you before, the cactus is growing well. That plant right here is just thriving. All the red color popping out. My lavender is just thriving. And I did start this another peas I just told you about. And these are peas are called Progress number 9. So these are supposed to really go to produce really quickly. So as you can see, they're coming up. I did add amendment to the soil, some earthworm castings, and a little straw mulch to keep them together. And as you see, the drip irrigation, they're right next to the drip irrigation to make sure they're getting enough water. I do have beets growing as well. These are the early wonder beets. And as you can see, they're just starting. If you can see the leaf right there popping up, so they're coming in. I'm very excited to grow my own beets as well. I'll go over to the other side and show you. As you see, they're popping up right there. I'll show you the other side, what those peas are as well. And last is the Super Sugar Snap peas, and they are just loving the shade. Those other ones in the other garden bed, they're not under shade, but it seems like it doesn't matter. They just love this much cooler weather, the 80-some degree weather, and they are doing very well, popping up as well. So even in the end of September here in Southern California, as you can see, my grapevine, they're still growing, thriving. I'm gonna have to pop this one up here to give it so it can keep climbing the trellis, but it's doing very well. The other one is over here. This one's much bushier, but it's doing very well as well. I planted this cherry tree back in April, and it was such a small baby, but now as you can see, it's thriving. I did fertilize it for fall and gave it some fruit tree, Dr. Earth fruit tree fertilizer, as well as some earthworm castings. But as you can see, it's taller than me now, y'all. And look at that, so beautiful. I'm so looking forward to cherries, hopefully next year, but if not, that's okay. I'm gonna keep it growing and babysitting it, and it's gonna be on its way, but it's doing very well. So thanks a lot for hanging out with me on this garden tour adventure, and I look forward to giving you guys an update on my fall garden once I put the brassicas and everything in it as well. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. God bless.